Hello, and welcome to today's training where I'm going to teach you a reasonably simple steel mace flow. So this flow is inside my Warrior Woman program, where you will get 14, 15 steel mace flows, and this one is one of them. And I'm going to show you quickly what I'm going to teach you today. And then we're going to start. So I'm going to break down the flow into basically step-by-step little mini tutorials, okay? So I have had a lot of questions about the steel mace training, and people are wondering, oh my gosh, that looks so complicated, because they see me, obviously, in my promotional videos where, you know, I've mastered the steel mace. I've been learning it for almost 3 years. So obviously, this is not where I began the journey. This is 3 years of very consistent training. So I want to show you in today's live how I break down the flows and how I teach them, so you understand that whether you are a total beginner, whether you've never held a mace in your hand before, whether you are a seasoned athlete and you've handled functional tools in your hands before, you can still learn something. And how much fun it really is. Okay, so if you have any questions, obviously, as always, pop them in the chat box. Obviously, if you're watching the replay, ask away as well. And let me know who you are, and let me know if you've tried mace training before. It's a quite hard thing to kind of demonstrate, and it's a hard thing to imagine what it feels like, because most people have held a dumbbell or a barbell in their hands, possibly a kettlebell, but steel mace is quite unique. However, I've been getting messages from people that they are purchasing steel maces, which is incredible. So clearly people are quite intrigued about this unique, fun, and wonderfully challenging training, okay? So the flow I'm going to teach you today is a lateral lunge, side step lunge, and then we're going to add a bow and arrow, okay? So this is the kind of most advanced version of the flow. And then obviously I'm going to teach you slightly simplified versions of this flow as well, okay? And that's what's so beautiful about steel mace training, that you can just keep working at it. There's always something new to learn. There's always new movements to add. But equally, if you're just beginning, you can just choose the really, really simple versions of it, just so you feel safe and you're mastering the basics, okay? So what we're going to do first, we're going to run through the lateral lunge and the side step lunge body weight. And that's what I do inside the program as well. I will teach you the body weight version first before you even pick up the mace, because I want you to build the fundamentals really, really well. You cannot build skill and complexity on shonky technique, okay? So if you are starting your steel mace training, make sure that you never skip the basics, that you never skip the bodyweight tutorials, because it's really difficult once you pick up the mace to then be performing complex, fun movements on a very suboptimal form, okay? So let's break down the lateral lunge. First, where you're going to start with the lateral lunge is you're just going to go wide, okay? In terms of position of the feet, it's up to you. I prefer feet straight. Some people like to have the feet open, all right? So it's entirely up to you. And then what you're going to do, you're going to sink your hips back, and I'm going to show you a side view as well, so you understand what I mean by that. Now, you should only go as far with the foot to have your hip, so in front of your hip, above your heel. If you are too far, then you're just exposing the knee to a lot of unnecessarily tension. Eventually could possibly lead to injuries in the knees, okay? So you want to go somewhere where the hip bone, which is here in the middle of the front of your hip, goes above the heel. So first, you're just going to do this. And now what is the most important about the lateral lunge is to not go over the knee over the toes, but to really sink back. So you need to be loading the posterior chain, specifically the glutes, yeah? So this is where your lateral lunge needs to be, yeah? The shin is almost perpendicular to the ground. It's a little bit of forward angle, but you really need to sink back. Whoops. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. They load the knee and then are wondering why their knees are hurting, okay? Right. So let's just try a few body weight, yeah? Just see how you feel. And first we're going to go stationary, okay? So it means that we're not actually moving the feet at all. So we're building up the technique step by step. This is step one, okay? Now, when you get a bit more comfortable here, then what you can start doing is that you can start moving side to side, yeah? Because you have built the technique so you know what it should feel like, and then you can start moving side to side, okay? And then, so that's step two. Step three is adding the mace. Now we're ready for the steel mace. The way you hold the mace is with a under and over grip, okay? So under by the mace ball, and you want to have your hand right by the ball, yeah? Not here, here. The reason for that being that you want to control the heaviest part of the mace, okay? And then you come here, okay? Nice, someone's watching. Awesome. Let me know who you are, where you're tuning in from. So from here, you're going to go into the lateral lunge. The rule for lateral lunges is you're always moving away from the mace ball. So that way, never towards it, okay? So you're going to step into the lateral lunge. You are going to position the mace ball in between your feet underneath the shoulder. This arm is fully extended and this arm just comes up towards the shoulder, okay? Oh. I have lost connection. I'll be right back. Not sure what happened here. Sorry about that. I've suddenly lost you all. Okay, so we're gonna step to the side. Mace ball goes underneath the shoulder, okay? Make sure that you're stabilizing your core, so stabilizing your abs and your back as well. Try a few on one side, come back, okay? Just take it nice and slow. Again, making sure that your hips are sinking backwards. Yeah? See how it feels. Now we're going to transition to the other side. See how the other side feels. The way you transition is you're going to slide the hand up. This is called a prayer pose transition. And then go the other way, okay? So from here, now you're starting, again, moving away from the mace. You're going the other way, okay? Go nice and slow. There's a lot of moving parts, okay? You might have done lateral lunges before, but I doubt you would have done them with the steel mace, okay? So here we go. So that is your lateral lunge, okay? The most advanced way to do lateral lunge is the switch in the middle, okay? But for this flow, that's not what we're going to be doing, okay? This is just when you're doing lateral lunges on their own. Okay, so lateral lunge, tick, done. If you are doing it with me, let me know if you have any questions about this movement, okay? The second movement we're going to do is a side step lunge. Oh, Shonetta, so nice to have you here. That's awesome. Looks fine to me. Awesome. All right, so the next movement is a side step lunge. And again, we're going to start with a body weight version first before we start adding the mace. Yeah, just building the fundamentals and the basics really solid. So then we can build on them in skill and complexity, okay? So the side step lunge, you're just going to step behind your foot. You don't have to go super far, okay? It's not the point. The point is you're going to just step here. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to kind of push the hips so they are as forward facing as you possibly make them, okay? So not here, but twist them, yeah? Twist them forward and then go down, okay? Again, you want to be sinking the hips backwards. You don't want to go too much over the toes, with knees over the toes, okay? So see how you go. When you twist the hips forward, you should feel your glutes really engaging, yeah? So go down and then come back. See how you go. And then try the other side. Yeah? See how that feels for you. So step back and then go down. I think some people call this a curtsy lunge as well. I call it a side step lunge. There's probably a lot of different names circulating in the fitness world for this, okay? And again, when we pick up the mace, we're going to go for a under-over grip, same kind of grip, okay? And again, same rule applies. You're moving away from the mace, okay? So first, again, start on one side. Yeah, just going one way, and then we'll switch and try the other way, okay? Make sure that you're using a nice light mace too. For the flows, especially when you're beginning, it's good to just have 4 kilos, which I think is about 9 pounds. But I think you can buy only a 10-pound mace when I was doing my research. I'll have to double check, but I'm inside the Warrior Woman program. I have very comprehensive videos to help you choose the right mace. And also I have a directory of places where you can buy high quality steel maces as well. So you don't have to kind of wonder about how to get your hands on a good, perfect mace for you right now, okay? Eventually you'll probably end up having more than one mace in the house, but you can easily start with just 4 kilos or 10-pound maces that will do you for quite some time, okay? All right, so now let's try switching. So go here, yeah? Again, that is the most advanced version. Yeah? So there's your side step lunge with the mace added, okay? So the last movement we're gonna do is bow and arrow. Super fun, yeah? Obviously, upper body movement creates wicked strength in the core and in the shoulder joint and shoulder muscles as well. But obviously you need to know how to engage the back muscles and the front of the abs as well to support you holding a rather heavy metal ball quite some distance away from your body, okay? So what you need to do first is obviously is lock the core. So you need to stabilize the glutes, really lock the abs and compress the shoulders down, okay? From here, you're going to extend and everything is at one level, yeah? I'm not here, I'm not here. Everything is kind of in line and then you come back. Now, I know that for beginners, or if you've never done this before, or you have weaknesses in your shoulders, reduce the range of motion, okay? Who says that you need to go all the way out at the beginning? Just go partially, okay? Because what you don't want your shoulders to be taking over, yeah? You want to have that nice compression, really engaging the whole core and stabilizing the shoulder joint, yeah? See how you go on the other side as well. Totally normal to feel different kind of strength and ease on each side too. Your dominant side, your stronger side will probably be slightly easier, okay? So this is the bow and arrow. It's like honestly one of my favorite movements. It's obviously quite offensive movement and it kind of feels pretty badass, okay? So what we're going to do now, we're going to combine the movements together. Yeah, and I'm going to show you different kind of progressions and different versions of the flow, ranging from when you're first starting out to when things start smoothing out. When it comes to mastering the flows, have patience, okay? The thing is that if you put the repetitions in and if you put the training and work in, the flows will start smoothing out on their own. That is a total natural process that I have seen happen with me over and over and also with my clients. So first, you want to go robotically. You want to really separate the movements and then slowly start working on your transitions because the mastery is in the transitions, yeah? That is kind of the flow and the mastery. It's how you're kind of transitioning from movement to movement. But at the beginning, just go slow, go robotically. Make sure that you are exercising with perfect form, okay? So, under over grip, we're going to start with the lateral lunge. Lateral lunge, moving away from the mace ball. You're going to come in the middle. You're going to switch the mace, through the prayer position. You back in the middle, side step lunge. You remember rightly, we're moving away from the mace. Come back here, bow and arrow. If you need to reduce, if this is where you are, it's fine, okay? And then you leave the mace here because now we're going to go the other way. Lateral lunge. Come to the middle, reset, switch, side step lunge. Come back to the middle, bow and arrow. Okay, and then now you're back in the middle. You're starting again. So see how you are switching from side to side. Okay, and that's what I love about the flows too. You can't think about anything else. Is you have to still your mind, stop thinking about what's for dinner or your deadline at work or the fight you had with your teenager in the morning. You actually need to still your mind, empty it out, and really just focus on your body and on the movement. And that is what's so wonderful about the steel mace. Okay, so lateral lunge. Come back to the middle, switch, side step lunge. Come back on top to the middle, bow and arrow. Don't switch this time, okay? You're going to go into lateral lunge, middle, switch, side step. Come back to the middle, bow and arrow. Okay, so here you have it. Here's the bow and arrow flow, and I'm going to show you the next progression from here as well. I'm just going to see if there is any questions. I love the lunges. Awesome. Which ones? The lateral or the side step? Lots of glutes there. Fantastic. Oh, hello, Gretel. So nice to see you. Total warrior. Love it. Absolutely. That's the vibes. That's the vibes, Gretel. Warrior training. The side step. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, you really feel that, don't you? Yeah, it's nice. It's awesome that you're feeling it in your glutes because that means that you're doing it right, yeah, rather than loading the knees and coming over the knees. Okay, so I'm going to show you the next progression. However, again, I'm going to urge you to not rush it, okay? This is perfectly fine as it is. You are doing a 3-movement flow, okay? This is not a total beginner flow. It's somewhere kind of advanced beginner, intermediate beginner, okay? So if you've been practicing this for a while, and it seems pretty good and you're feeling quite comfortable, then what are we going to do? We're going to go for a slightly more complex version, and I'm going to run you through it right now, okay? You ready? So, lateral lunge. Switch in the middle. Side step lunge. Bow and arrow here, okay? So, in the easier flow, I was coming back to the middle, doing the bow and arrow from the middle. Now, I am doing the bow and arrow from a side step lunge. So obviously, it's going to be so much harder. It is so much harder. The loading on the core is so much more, it's a lot more difficult here than it is here, okay? So that is kind of the next progression where you can take the flow. So let's go the other way. Lateral lunge. Come to the middle. Sorry about the wind. Side step lunge. Bow and arrow. Okay. So what I really love about like specifically this flow is that the side step lunge is quite dancey. It looks like a kind of ballerina dance move. And then you're adding a badass offensive movement with a mace into it, okay? So it is such a kind of gorgeous mashup of femininity and dance and flow with, I think I'm going to kill you because that is a really offensive movement that obviously comes from the Mace warrior training, where people use this as a weapon in battles, but also as a weapon to just against one another and for hunting animals too. Okay, so let's run through this again. There was a little in between. Yeah, side switch, side step lunge, bow and arrow. Okay, so lateral lunge, switch, side step, bow and arrow. Okay, so see how you go with the bow and arrow from the side step lunge. It's super fun, obviously a lot more conditioning. As you are getting more and more kind of efficient at the flows, they're gonna start smoothing out. Okay, you're just gonna be able to transition really easily, yeah, without actually kind of separating the movements altogether. Okay, so any questions, my loves? Bow and arrow flow. It's one of the kind of first ones that I have learned. Oh, Debbie is watching. You found us, Debbie. That is awesome. 10-pound mace is a bit much for me on the bow and arrow. Yeah, 10 pounds would be, because that is roughly 5. That's what I've just been handling, and that it's quite full on. Yeah, so obviously, I don't know if you can buy, and I think there was a 7-pound mace that I saw somewhere on my travels around the interweb. Possibly, yeah. So what you do, Shonetta, if 10 pounds mace is too much, you just build the strength gradually. So you're just going to go bow and arrow here. Maybe this is not an option just yet. Yeah, build the strength, because you really don't want to injure your shoulders or load them up too much. So reduce the range of motion. Yeah, start building the strength partially, unless you are ready to invest in a slightly lighter mace. But you can just get stronger. Cheaper. But then it gets more expensive, because you start buying heavy mace for the strength training, which is always what gets me. But that is the price I would rather pay than losing my independence and having injuries and being a frail, weak old woman. So it is what it is. Santa might give me a mace for Christmas. Oh yes, we'll have to check weights and sizes with you. Totally, yeah. I'm happy to give you any advice. Gretel, the maces with Dan, that's where I used to get all my maces from, are currently on sale. There are 68, I think, New Zealand dollars from Dangerously Fit Academy, but I can pop a link. I can send you a message. Yeah. So it's, yeah, I had a check for someone just yesterday, and they are on sale. And Dan's maces, it's from Dangerously Fit Academy. It's what I use, because we didn't, there was no one selling maces in New Zealand. So me and my clients had to import them from Australia. So I saw that he had a sale, but I'll get in touch with you, and I'll pop a link into your messenger. Mace movements make you feel powerful. Damn right they do. Absolutely. And the beautiful thing is that that kind of feeling of being powerful and invincible and unstoppable and confident doesn't just stop when you stop your mace workouts. It actually carries with you in your life. I see it over and over with my female clients. It's like they kind of carry themselves taller and more confident and have more of a, kind of power in their steps. So absolutely, it is by far. And I'm not just saying it because, I'm selling a steel mace program. I would never try to get people to do something that I don't do myself. Like I have done my journey with functional training, started with kettlebells and then moved to club bells, and then the steel mace I discovered about 2.5, 3 years ago. And there's nothing like it. It is my absolute favorite. If I had to choose, if I had to go to a deserted island and only take with me one fitness tool, it will always be the mace. I love the versatility, how versatile it is, how much you can do just really grunty strength training, but then you can do flows. You can do these amazing combos. Like what's also in the program is this 360 flow, whereas It's all about upper body. It's about lower body. It's about flowing. You're not stopping, you know. So it is just so much fun. And that's what I did. I did a post today on Facebook about exercise needs to be fun. We have so little fun in our lives. And for me, exercise is that 20 minutes where I just get to play. It's about playing. It's about exploring movement, and it's about exploring your body, and it's about having something in your hand that moves, and it's quite organic, and then you can, you know, like I've just noticed lately my clients, sometimes I show them a flow and they do something entirely different. They just like, oh no, my body felt like that's where I wanted to go. And that's so potent. That is so beautiful that they already have a toolbox of movements and they are kind of constructing their own flows, which is really incredible. So I love it. Yeah, I wouldn't promote something that I didn't thoroughly enjoyed myself. And not only it's fun, it's potently effective in, you know, my clients get really toned muscles, rehab their shoulders, restore the strength in their core from surgeries and childbirth, and it's really effective, and you can see the kind of results really quickly, and that is what's wonderful, because you know, who wants to wait months and months for results, right? Wouldn't you rather see it in a few weeks? So that's great. I just answer some more. Definitely makes you feel powerful. Makes sense, reduce the range. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just build it slowly. There's no rush. There is no rush to be mastering the top level of all movements. I mean, you've got literally the rest of your life. Sometimes we fall into this fast results. You know, a lot of people go to these kind of high intensity fitness classes, and yes, you will get quick results, but why? It's often at the expense of your body. So if you, Shanita, were exercising with your ego and you're like, oh no, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do the whole thing, and then you injure your shoulder and fray your ligaments, and then you've got issues for weeks and weeks and weeks, it's not really worth it. It's kind of nice to just be like, hey, I'm just going to take it one step at a time. I'm just going to start here with my bow and arrow, and I'm going to really work on locking my core, because the more you lock your core, the easier the extension is going to be. If I relax my core and my lats, oh, this is really heavy now. If I pack everything and I squeeze my glutes and squeeze my abs, compress the shoulders down, and really lock even the, you know, the serratus and the upper abs, so much easier. But who says that you have to go the whole way? Yeah, just go partially. I have clients who come to me and they start with a really light 4-kilo mace, and this is where they go, and that's okay. It's okay. You've got the rest of your life to be handling heavy maces. Yeah. And then, you know, obviously going up in 1 kilo, 2 pounds, it's not like going up 1 kilo in a dumbbell. Yeah, I've ordered, I think it took me about 18 months to start swinging the 6-kilo mace. So that's about 13 pounds. And I'll tell you, it's a beast. It's a beast. And some movements took me a very long time. So, you know, picking up a heavier dumbbell in the gym doesn't feel that much different. But when you start swinging the mace, you know, every kilo at the end of it is going to be massive. It's just massive. Yeah. So take your time. Take your time. There's no rush. There's absolutely no rush. My notice said in 1 hour, so I'm behind. We'll watch replay. Oh, sorry about that. That's okay. Replay will be in the room, okay? And I'll pin it to featured too. It's a baby bow and arrow for me now. Totally. And that's, why not? Yeah, why not? Absolutely. There is a lot of movements and that you have to reduce. And then what I often find that even when I made it to some really advanced complex movements, when I go up in weight, I go right back to the very beginnings, because what's really beautiful with the mace is all the different variations. So if I just run you through like what kind of lunges you can do, yeah, with the steel mace. So obviously total beginners, I start with a bodyweight lunge, and inside the warrior woman, you will start with bodyweight lunge as well, yeah? Then level 1, you're just learning how to lunge and just hold the mace, okay? So this is where you're going to be for a little while. Then seatbelt lunge. Level 3, yeah? Seatbelt lunge with a switch. See how you incrementally increase the complexity, okay? Ladder lunge. Okay. Rotational lunge. Sad rotational lunge. See? It's all Mace lunges. It's all Mace lunges. Then you can do here. You can do 360 in the lunge. You can do lunge strike. Okay, you can go forward, backwards. Okay, so see how versatile it is? All of those were lunges. But see how you can start at the very beginning, and you have literally inside the Warrior Woman program, you have months, maybe even years of movements that you can master. Because obviously all of that took me almost 3 years to master. All right, so that's what I love about it too. So then even if you can do the side rotational lunge, which is quite complicated, once you go up a weight, you need to then start reducing the complexity, yeah? If that makes sense. Dueling where you suggest buying Maces from Amazon has many options, but I want quality. Yeah, totally. So inside the Warrior Woman, there is a directory that I've researched. I think the TechFit Maces are unfortunately out of stock at the moment, but I'll post it in the group, okay, where I recommend, obviously, yeah, you want quality. I also found that what you also want from your Mace is the same kind of handle in every weight. Yeah, so you don't want the thickness of the handle or the length to change from weight to weight. Because when I caught up with my new friend who does Mace training up in Auckland, so also in New Zealand, the only other person that does Mace training, he's just ordered his first shipment of Maces, and he said that his 4 kilos are thinner and then 6 kilos are thicker. And that's really confusing, because not only you have to learn how to swing a heavier Mace, you also have to learn how to grip it in a different way. So although there could be kind of a nice challenge for the body, I don't really like it. I prefer when things are the same, so then you don't have to kind of completely rewire the brain and get used to something else. Otherwise, I don't think some Maces are a bit shorter. Like I think Gabrielle's a little bit shorter as well. I like this kind of standard length. I think is about 3 feet, about 95 centimeters. So that to me is kind of giving you a lot of traction when you're swinging it around the body. If it was shorter, you don't get. The shorter ones will probably be a little bit better for, you know, one-handed work. But that's not what I teach in the. That's going to be in the Warrior Woman 2.0, the one-handed work, okay? Because that's obviously quite a different beast. So yeah, no, I definitely pop some links in the group with where to buy high-quality Maces, and yeah, write a letter to Santa. Dear Santa, buy me a Mace and possibly a Warrior Woman program as well, so then I can learn it, okay? Awesome. If you have any more questions that pop into your head a little bit later, then just post them in the group. Remember that you can also create your own posts in the group. It doesn't just have to be commenting. You can just create a post and post it. I'll just have to approve it. But let me know what your thoughts are about the Mace training and how you found it. Obviously, I think Shonita is the only one who has a Mace at the moment. There was another person that messaged me from the group that she's just ordered her Mace. She's up in Hamilton. So that's really exciting that people are kind of embracing the Steel Mace training and trying something new. So that's fabulous. Awesome. You're so welcome. Yeah, so lovely to hang out with you, lovelies. Make a post in the group how this kind of made you feel, and what are your feelings about the Mace training now that you've seen it, which is awesome. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for joining me live, and I hope you found this helpful, useful, interesting, intriguing, exciting, and I will see you in 2 days' time. I'm running a strength training session with the Steel Mace, okay? And even if you don't have Steel Mace, please show up, because I'm going to have a body weight variations already. Or if you've got a kettlebell, I can also give you kettlebell variations. So if you feel like on Friday, or for you in Northern Hemisphere, it's going to be Thursday evening. If you feel like it's going to be earlier than today, though, because I think I'm running it at 6 o'clock in the morning, so a few hours earlier. If you feel like joining me for a 20-minute strength training session with whatever tool you have, or even if you just have your body, then please do. It'll be really fun to train together, okay? And then I can show you how to use the Mace for the interval training, which is also inside the Warrior Woman program. There's 20 strength training workouts. Super fun. Okay, so have a beautiful day or beautiful evening. I know, Shanetta, you were having your dinner, weren't you? So have a beautiful I would like to see a beginner in training. Okay, so I don't know if you saw at the beginning, I did the flow that I would teach a beginner. Yeah, it wasn't as was kind of breaking it down a little bit. Yeah. So to put it into perspective, most of my clients, when they first come to me, they have never held a mace in their hands. And they always say like, oh, I'm too uncoordinated, or too unfit, or not strong enough. They all learn it. My oldest client at this moment is 83 years old, and he is swinging the mace, and so is his wife, who is 80. Okay, and they've been to me for about 4 sessions, and they're totally working with the mace. Okay, it's if it looks complicated to you, it's not. It's just like anything else. You just have to break it down, and I think that's what I have mastered over the last few years on 200 plus clients, is to really meet people where they're at. Even if you're a seasoned athlete and you've done training and lots of exercise in your life, you still have to learn this from the beginning. Like it is, we all began there. So did I. I began with seatbelt lunges. Okay, I didn't begin with rotational lunges. That's just not how it works. So if you are a beginner and you're wondering, like, I'm not sure about this is also not a total beginner flow. Yeah, I didn't want to show you a total beginner. I wanted to show you something kind of a little bit in the middle. Okay, but there is simple flows in the program, and there is also a lot more complex flows in the program. Okay, I reckon you can comfortably use the Warrior Woman for 2 years and not run out of material and new trainings. Okay, looking forward to more. Awesome. Taco Tuesday. I love it. Meaning a beginner person, if willing to show themselves. Oh, I see. Okay, I'll see if I can convince one of my clients. Yeah, although they're probably not kind of beginners. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. If you, I have posted in the group or on my main Facebook page today testimonials from all my clients, and in a lot of them, people mention how it felt for them when they first began, how they didn't know, and how within weeks they were doing fairly complex flows. So have a bit of a read. I'm not sure if I've posted them in the group. I will post them in the group, the testimonials, okay, because you can hear it from my clients. I could be talking about it for hours and hours and hours, but hearing it from the mouths of my clients, because they have the kind of first-hand experience, that is probably going to be a lot more potent than me waffling on about this, okay? So beautiful, ladies. The southerly is just about to hit. We're expecting a storm. We had a mini tornado yesterday, so I can just feel it. It's starting to hit, so it's perfect timing. Thank you so much for joining me live. Thank you so much for joining, to kind of showing interest in learning some new forms of exercises and training, and I will see you on Friday for a strength training session. Ka kite ano, have a beautiful day, night, evening, afternoon, wherever in the world you are, and